Hello guys, I'm live again, super quick. I just wanted to hop on live really quick to talk about a couple of things. I've been getting a lot of questions. If you guys follow me, you guys might have known that I just helped launch another company the other day on Friday actually, where we just recently launched, and it's been a huge secret that I've been holding on to for months now. And since then, I've been getting so many questions about health and how is it going to help me with this and how is it going to help me with that, and all of the different products and stuff. And I'm not here to talk about product, I'm here to talk about health. I'm here to talk about what it is that you're putting inside your body, and how you can kind of just better yourself when it comes to that front, because I know it's something that is very, very difficult for a lot of people to get a hold of. So before I begin that, let me just back up really quick and introduce myself for those of you guys that are tuning in for the first time, or you just are not familiar so much with what it is that I do and who I am. My name is Kelsey, and I am a social media content creator and strategist. I also am a lupus warrior. I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I am in the process of trying to get my nutrition certification. So I am all about lifestyle and living a healthy lifestyle and just living positively in all aspects of your life, from a spiritual level, from a mind level, and from the body level. I'm just really all about like holistic healing as a whole, because of my diagnosis with lupus. And my struggles that I've had to go through in the almost 10 years that I've had it. It's been a lot of stuff that I've had to do in literally, I can't believe it's been almost 10 years that I've had lupus. And in that time frame, I did a lot of evolving. I did a lot of research, a lot of learning, a lot of things that I didn't know at first when I was first diagnosed as a teenager, and things that I know now as an adult closer to her 30s. And I wanted to just pretty much share what it is that I've learned in that time, because I get so many questions about it. I figured, why not go on live and talk about it, right? So just so that I don't lose track of anything, I am going to have my notes here. So if you guys see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I stay on track. I don't want to like ramble too much, because I do that a lot. I just get off track so much. So first things first, before I keep going, as you're tuning in, just comment below where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know where everybody is tuning in from. I'm from New York, if you guys are new, and I grew up here. I'm born in the city and raised a little bit outside of the city, but I'm a New Yorker at heart and love it over here. So if you haven't been here, definitely come and say hi. So anyway, I've been learning about nutrition. As you guys, if you guys are have been following me, you know that I've been seeing a nutritionist myself so that I can get myself at a different level, and I've learned so much from him. He actually also hired me to be his social media consultant, so now I'm also his consultant, and by doing that, I've learned so much more about it other than what I'm doing for myself, because every patient's different. So what I'm doing for myself is not necessarily what he would prescribe for somebody else, right? So I'm learning a lot across the board, depending on any people's goals and things like that, and I feel like it's been so eye-opening for me. So in terms of diet and just my own personal experience with diet, I'm Asian and Hispanic. So a lot of the food that I eat consisted of rice, meat, vegetables, and it's just a lot of salt, right? So not the healthiest all the time, but it can be depending on the choices you make. But I also obviously grew up in America, and as we all know, the American diet consists of starch, fatty meats, and processed foods, right? So that was all introduced into my life too at a younger age. I didn't eat so much of it growing up, but as I got older, I definitely did, because I had my own money. I can go buy my own processed food, right? So I did that, especially in college, and it didn't work out too well for me, especially because that was around the time I also got diagnosed with lupus. So I ended up kind of hurting myself a lot more without realizing it. So the thing with diet, it is almost known as a silent killer when it's not done well. And the reason is because we don't catch inflammation inside the body until it's too late, most of the time. Now, when we see inflammation, when it comes to joint pain and stuff like that, we can always see it, right? We'll see that our fingers are swollen or whatever it is. But if you have inflammation around your kidneys, if you have inflammation on your heart, inflammation, you know, in the bloodstream, in the central nervous system. We usually do not notice that inflammation until it is too late. Little do we all know, and little are we all educated on this, that diet is directly related to inflammation. Now, obviously, there are going to be other external, you know, factors that will come into play, but speaking in general terms, now, again, do not just take what I say and apply it to your life, because every person's different, every health situation is different. But generally speaking, diet is directly related to inflammation in the body. So if you're the type of person that suffers from diabetes, that suffers from lupus, from arthritis, from fibromyalgia, from any kind of autoimmune disease, and you're somebody that even suffers from things like high blood pressure, all of that is directly related to diet. Of course, yes, high blood pressure is also genetic. Now, if it's genetic, that only means that you might want to take even better care of yourself so that you don't follow along the same path that the rest of your family did, right? So that's something that happens in my family, where I actually do have a side of the family that suffers from high blood pressure, hypertension, and it's actually claimed a couple of family members' lives over the years. And it's scary to see, because that is something that I'm susceptible to, not only genetically, but also having lupus, being on different types of medications. It can cause your blood pressure to spike. For me, I actually get low blood pressure sometimes, and I'm also hypoglycemic. So I actually am just a weird anomaly, I guess, because I actually am getting the opposite of things. So, and again, hypoglycemic is also related to inflammation in the body. So I'm going to get to all of that. So my question to you is, do you know what you're putting inside your body? Are you going to the grocery store and are you just getting that, you know, that chicken that's $1.99 for, you know, a whole chicken, and are you just running with it? Are you the type that's gonna go to the store and just go buy chips for the kids because you don't really want to deal with what it is that the kids want to eat, so you're just gonna get, you know, a bag of Doritos and call it a day? Are you the type that's gonna get, you know, fried foods every day for the family, or fry foods yourself at home, which is still, that doesn't make it any better, you know, because it's still sitting in oil, right? Which is fat, and not always the best kind of fat. So that's another thing. Are you being mindful of the types of oils that you're getting? Vegetable oil and olive oil are not created equal. Two completely different things. One is straight bad fat, and one is good fats for you that actually are heart healthy. And that's just two examples of oil. And I can also share different types of examples of what I use in my day-to-day. Are you the type of person that reacts badly to certain food groups that you're eating, and you get bloated, you get, you know, constipation or something like that, or you get sick, you feel nauseous, you feel maybe brain fog after ingesting dairy or after ingesting gluten, maybe you feel, you know, confused or something like that, or get headaches. All of that is related to diet at the end of the day, guys, right? Anything you're putting in your body will try to use it. Of course, if it's not usable, like alcohol. Alcohol is just poison for the body, so it will not try to use it. It'll try to process it and get rid of it. That's why when you're drinking and you find that you're drinking more often, you will notice that you go to the bathroom more, because your body is trying to literally get rid of the alcohol. It doesn't, you need it or use it in any kind of way that's going to help you. One thing that happens when we are eating foods that are filled with chemicals, toxins, antibiotics, we're actually damaging our gut. And if you guys don't know, our gut is actually our second brain. So we have the brain, right? We all know that the brain is important and that we need our brain to work properly. And if we know we're killing brain cells, we start to freak out because we're like, oh my God, how am I gonna think? Am I gonna get dementia? Am I gonna get, you know, amnesia? Like all this crazy stuff, migraines, all related to brain health, right? Our gut is actually our second brain, and our gut is actually what manages immunity in the body, not the brain. It's our gut. So if your gut is damaged, and if your gut is what we like to, I say we as a health professional too, but what people that are involved in health say is that, you know, a damaged gut is often, you might have heard this, it's called leaky gut syndrome. And what that means is that there are literal leaks or cracks in the gut because of the damage, and all of what's going into your gut is spilling into your bloodstream. that spilling is causing your body to react. And now what is that reaction, guys? We were just talking about it. It's inflammation. So all of that stuff that's spilling into your bloodstream and causing inflammation, and then over time you're gonna notice the aches and pains, the migraines, the brain fog, maybe you're not digesting food properly. It all comes full circle, and it's all related. Diabetes is also related to that because diabetes type 2 is directly related to diet and having too much sugar in the bloodstream, basically. So when a lot of times we're hearing now different types of diets. The keto diet is one, Whole30 is another one, Paleo's been around, Paleo's established, but we're hearing a lot of these fad diets, right? And I call them fad diets not to mean a bad thing. I just call them fad diets because they're coming up and they're disappearing, and then they're coming up again and then they're disappearing. Are they good is a question I get a lot. To an extent, I'm not the type to say no, they're bad, but they're not 100% good either, and they could be better. Now, don't make your body an inflammation station, so what, a lot of people tend to think about when they're talking about, all of these different types of things related to gut health is they immediately start to think about probiotics, right? Yes, probiotics are really, really good to have. Why? Because it overwhelms the bad bacteria in your gut, right? But probiotics are not a one-time fix. You can't just take probiotics and be like, all right, my gut is totally fixed. That's it. I'm good to go. Let me just continue eating my McDonald's. It doesn't work that way, people. When it comes to healing your gut, you need to make sure that you are eliminating anything that could potentially cause inflammation in the body. And there's a lot of foods out there that are not really natural to the human diet, our ancestral human diet. They're not natural to us. And we are eating them on a daily basis as part of the American diet, which is actually really bad. And I'm going to get into why that is a thing. Because people also will say like, oh my God, how can our country do this to us? Blah, 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 like all that stuff. And I will get into that shortly. I will not leave that out, trust me. But when we're eating all of these things and we're damaging our gut, we need to make sure that we're eliminating things that could potentially damage it. So dairy is usually one. Gluten is usually one. And gluten is a protein that is not natural to food, and we don't really digest it that well as human beings. So that's why you get the bloated. If you're eating something like pasta, you most of the time will always feel bloated after eating that pasta, right? Do you know that bloating is actually a reaction of a digestive issue? It's basically that the food cannot go anywhere, so the body now doesn't know how to react to it anymore because you're not listening to it, so it's gonna make you bloated. And I know I just said a lot of things at once, but in short, when you're eating something that's not meant for your body, bloating is a reaction of your body saying, this is not good for me. I don't want this. Stop eating this. Your body is calling for help. As a Reiki practitioner, body scans are something that are part of what I do in my practice, in a standard practice for myself, for other people. And it's something that I try to tell other people to be mindful of. Be mindful of your body. When you're eating something, be mindful of how your body reacts to it. And that's something I've noticed lately after cutting out things that were making me sick. For the first time in, I don't even know how long, in like probably 15 years, because I've been having digestive issues since middle school, high school. 15 years, I don't even know if that's right, maybe 20 years? Like, no, probably not, but like, so like around then, I've been having all of these different types of issues with food. So I, for the first time, feel amazing. And with the exception of the occasional flares, I don't feel sick anymore after eating food, which is always something that has happened to me. I would eat food and then I would instantly feel sick. I would get like, bloated, or I would get like different types of issues, or I would get headaches, or, something like that, or just a really, really bad stomach ache, and I would have to like lay down, and it wouldn't be good. So now I finally feel good. What I did for myself, and I highly recommend you consult with somebody before you change your diet, but what I did for myself is I removed all types of allergens. So basically gluten, dairy, grains, peanut butter, like certain nuts that cause inflammation, all processed foods. I cut them all out. And that includes cold cuts. And I did that because it was necessary because none of it was helping me. And even when I went gluten-free, this I did a while ago, but when I went gluten-free and I started doing the gut healing, you want to make sure that you're keeping in mind that they put additives in gluten-free stuff too. And the reason why they do that is because becoming gluten-free is not just a health issue anymore, it's becoming a lifestyle for some people, which I advise against. So if you're the type of person that's gonna cut out gluten just for the sake of cutting out gluten, I highly, highly recommend you speak to somebody first, because you could actually damage your body doing that if your body does process it well. So if your body is able to process it well, there's no need for you to cut it out of your diet, okay? So I wanna set the record straight there. Now, if you're the type of person, let me go back to my notes because I'm getting off on a tangent, you know, if you're the type of person in this country that is raised on the American diet, most likely you have health issues. And I say that confidently because the American diet is not a healthy diet by any means. It consists of very high bad fats for you, a lot of starches, which cause weight gain, and it causes digestive issues too, and a lot of processed foods. Processed foods are straight chemicals. And the sooner you know, you as a person start to understand that, the sooner you will be able to kick it to the curb. And the sooner you'll be able to just be like, I don't even want this in my body. I might as well just guzzle down, you know, a thing of poison, because that's basically what you're doing eating processed foods. You're killing your body slowly, and that is what's causing different types of diseases, like you know, like autoimmune diseases, or even just regular diseases like hypertension or diabetes and things like that. It all comes full circle. Now, I said that I was going to talk about why our diet is like this, right? Well, it came from somewhere. You know, obviously, if we're talking history, which I'm not going to go into, the settlers came here and we have all of these different types of foods to eat now. The American diet as a whole really is fatty, very, very fatty. Soul food, which is usually from the south of America, is just as bad for you. And don't get me wrong, your girl loves her some soul food. Although I can't eat it anymore, I loved it growing up. But it's not healthy for you. Let's be honest here. We're here to talk real, right? We're here to talk real. We're not here to sugarcoat anything or to make anyone, you know, feel good about what they're eating. That's not what it's about. It's about just straight facts right now. And when you're eating food that's that heavy in carbs, which are sugars, simple carbs, not good carbs. So you have complex carbs, which are like things like broccoli and kale and spinach. And you have, you know, simple carbs like white bread, white pasta, and white rice, which are not good for you. They're heavily processed, hence the white. That's what the white is. It means that it went through a lot of processing. And they're full of sugar. If you just get a bag of bread and you look at the ingredients on the back, you'll see that the sugar count is there. How can you make it better for yourself? If you're somebody that is not allergic to gluten, you're not celiac or anything like that, you can, I advise whole grain breads. You know, I don't really advise whole wheat. I advise whole grain is a lot better for you, because it is something that helps your body digest better. It has a lot of fiber in it too, so it just helps you to balance the sugar in your blood. So there's a lot of benefits to that if you're somebody that's not allergic to gluten or have celiac. That's what I would advise. White bread is not good for you. Potato bread is not good for you. It's all just full of just, you know, starch and carbs and by carbs I mean sugar. Now, sugar is directly related to inflammation. So when I was talking about how diet is related to inflammation and the gut health is related to inflammation, sugar is the biggest culprit, honestly. So when you're eating something that is a simple carb or a simple sugar in that sense, and you'll notice, like within a couple hours, you're gonna feel hungry, right? And why is that? It's because our body burns through glucose a lot faster than it burns through anything else. It's just how our body is. So usually athletes will bulk up and do carb cycling, which means that they're bulking up and eating simple carbs because they need quick energy. Glucose can do that for you. It gives you quick energy. That's how our body processes it. Processes it really, really fast. Now, if you are somebody that's on a low-carb diet, like on a keto or paleo, and you're eating low-carb, you are probably eating higher in fats, right? And by fats, we're talking good fats, right? We're talking, you know, salmon, we're talking olive oil, we're talking coconut oil, avocados, the good fats, you know, like nuts, like almonds and things like that. Those are all great for you. Those are all great fats. And our body processes that differently. So even though those people are not getting the full, you know, sugar and glucose intake, they are still getting those fats that are supplementing it. And our body actually processes fats a lot better and slower. And our brain is actually made up 65% fat. So when you feed your brain what it's made of, what does it do? It performs a lot better. So you'll notice that you start to think clearer. You notice that you'll start to you know, have less brain fog, less headaches. You'll be more alert and more focused, which is just amazing, right? Who doesn't like to focus? Isn't it the worst when you feel like super unfocused and you don't know what to do, right? So in this, you know, I'm circling back, and so in this country, one thing that happens a lot is our country is pharmaceutically driven, right? Our country pretty much runs on pharmaceuticals, and it depends almost, and this is a sad thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, our country basically depends on us being sick when it comes to pharmaceuticals and making money. So that's why with the whole trend of everyone going gluten-free, and there's, you know, an influx of all of these gluten-free products, reading the ingredients on those are just as important as reading the ingredients on a bag of chips, because if you're not reading the ingredients, you will not catch all of the disgusting chemicals that they're putting in gluten-free stuff too. And the reason why they're doing that is because they know people are moving into this direction where people are starting to become more conscious about their health, more conscious about holistic practices, and more conscious about just natural ways to heal and eat and consume, you know, energy for ourselves. So I eat a lot of different types of gluten-free things for the obvious reason that I don't ingest gluten. And there are these cookies that I really like. And yes, I do still eat cookies. I'm not talking about, you know, being super strict here. I'm talking about being mindful about what you're putting in your body. The cookies I get are made out of this special like buckwheat flour thing, and it's completely allergen friendly. It doesn't even have shellfish or anything like that in it. And they're really, really good. I like them. I can tell you guys the brand is called Easy Life, and they're actually known to be making a lot of different types of natural food alternatives that are really, really great. I loved it. I actually tried so many different types of things from them that have just been amazing. So I highly recommend that, that company, if you're looking into transitioning into this type of eating without sacrificing yourself, because it becomes that much harder when you can't eat what you used to love, right? Like I was always somebody that had a sweet tooth. When I had to cut all the stuff out, obviously I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I need something that I still need to get rid of the craving. So, you know, a lot of, they make a lot of, I eat this brownie too. It's called, oh shoot, the name just totally escaped me, but it's a brownie. It's made out of chickpeas. And I really like it because it tastes like a brownie. I mean, it tastes like a healthy brownie. It doesn't taste like a fudgy brownie that you just made out of the oven, you know? So it doesn't taste like that exactly, but it still tastes pretty good just to get rid of that craving. Shakes are also good for that too, so that's really good. But what I was saying was that, you know, the whole thing about depending on us to be sick, when you are taking that step to really understand what you're putting into your body, and you're taking that step to really commit to living better and living healthier and living in a way where you're like, wow, like I'm losing weight a lot easier. Wow, I feel like I can think clearer. Wow, my stomach doesn't hurt after eating that huge meal I just ate because everything was so good, you know, it's all healthy for you. So what do I recommend when people are like grocery shopping and stuff? Just look at what it is. Read the ingredients in it. Always opt for organic when you can, because it will, and the thing with organic foods, they don't last as long because they don't have all of the preservatives and stuff, you know, sprayed on it, like all of that crazy stuff that they use to take away the bugs and stuff. None of that's sprayed on it, so it lasts a lot, you know, shorter. It's a shorter lifespan, but you know, so instead of waiting a whole week to eat your raspberries, you need to eat it within a couple of days to make sure it doesn't go bad, right? So something like that. But it is so worth it, guys, because you will start to notice that your body will just feel better. You'll have more energy. If you're trying to lose weight, you'll lose weight a lot faster because your body's not having a battle inside yourself of trying to keep up, you know? So you know, a couple of things just to tie everything together is just to make sure that you are being mindful about what you're putting. Read the ingredients. It's as simple as taking that extra 2 minutes just to read what it is that you are about to ingest. You only have one body. So it's not a situation where you're gonna eat all the McDonald's you want and just say like you'll deal with it later. You'll deal with it when? When you're in the grave? I don't think that's what you wanna do, right? You wanna make sure that you're dealing with it right away, right? So that's one thing. A couple of things that I'm super excited about are, you know, and that are coming to light more are Ayurveda and Ayurvedic different types of remedies. Those are starting to come to light more, and I'm really excited about that because I've been exposed to it before. Being Asian, I'm not Indian, but I'm Asian, and all Asian practices are pretty related. I'm more into the Chinese remedies, being Chinese Filipino, so that's what's introduced into my life most of the time, and Chinese herbal remedies are the same thing. Ayurveda is just from India, but it's the same concept as Chinese herbal remedies. So I'm excited because if you guys don't already know, I am a founding partner for a new company, and what we did is we ended up coming out with a complex that has this, you know, Ayurvedic, you know, type of supplement that allows you to just balance yourself internally, and it's all stuff that's already been proven to use. It's pretty much just like we took a bunch of you know, spices and herbs and put it into one nice thing. But you know, something like that is starting to come to light now for good reason, because people are really starting to research different types of remedies that they can do for themselves that are not going to be at the cost of their life. So as somebody that lives with lupus and has been on a ton of medication throughout the years, I'm at a point where I want to lessen my medication, my pharmaceutical medication intake, and really heal naturally through diet, through, you know, natural supplements and herbs and spices that are naturally helpful to the body, found from the earth, you know, used for centuries, and have been already, you know, proven to help the body maintain inflammation, right? It really just comes with practice and patience at the end of the day when it comes to, you know, maintaining that as we go. Now, don't get me wrong, I do still get like, you know, cravings and stuff like that. I get ice cream from So Delicious, and they make their ice cream from like cashew milk, and I try to pick the ones that have low sugar because I can't really have things that have too much sugar in it I'm not trying to spike my blood sugar. It just doesn't make me feel good. I notice a difference when my blood sugar spikes, and that's something that, you know, what I want to leave you guys with is just to be more mindful about your own body. Do a body scan. It doesn't need to be formal, but doing a nice body scan is very, very helpful because you're able to pinpoint different types of parts of your body that might need a little bit more attention than the other. And with a busy lifestyle, it's so easy to just have how life passes by and we completely ignore, you know, how we're feeling, and we're putting other people ahead of us. That's totally natural. I get it. I'm one of those people that will always put others before myself, and it got to a point where, you know, you have to take that extra few minutes for yourself, whether it's in the morning, you know, take a break throughout the day, again in the evening before bed, and just check in with yourself and really understand, how am I feeling today? And do I feel like I fed myself and nourished myself today with what my body needs? Do I feel like I gave it something that it doesn't need? Do I feel bad right now? Do I feel sick? Things like that are to think of to pinpoint if what you had is not good for you, right? So that's one thing that I want to kind of leave you guys with. Again, if you guys found value in this and you want to see more videos like this, just let me know. Leave a comment below that you want to see more videos like this, and I'd be more than happy to do more of these type of health videos. Again, it's a passion of mine, so it's something that I love, and it's near and dear to me and who I am as a person. So if you found value in this, go ahead and share the video, or drop a comment that you want to see more of this. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in on this amazing Sunday evening over here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will leave you guys, give you guys back the rest of your Sunday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be answering the comments right now. So take care, everybody. Bye.